You ordered fresh, but former pizza workers say you're biting into powdered sauce, preservative-heavy dough, and a cheese blend with more additives than dairy. If you care about what goes into your body and your budget, this is your video. Let's start with what they told us: warming vats with sauce that gets a film stirred back in, dough thawed in warm water with the center still icy, and gloves skipped when rush hits. We'll name the chains, show the claims, and give you the telltale signs so you can spot the swap between what's promised and what you actually get. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
Especially now, given today's virus headlines. They also had food like anchovies and ricotta cheese that were 7 days old. An employee here was washing hands, but then recontaminated by touching the faucets right after. That's not allowed. At 1801 South Boulevard, an employee here was barehanding pizza squares. That's a no-no at any time.
You see the ads: bubbling mozzarella, sun-ripe tomatoes, dough made fresh today. The truth is, ex-staff from 6 chains paint a plainer picture: powdered mixes, bulk bags, and blends built to last, not to taste. Let's start with the promise. You pay for fresh cheese, real tomatoes, dough that breathes. Behind the counter, workers describe warming vats where a sauce skin forms and gets stirred back in, and dough thawed in warm water with the center still icy. That is not craft. That is choreography for speed. One chain pushes bubbling mozzarella, yet a former manager called the cheese a processed blend that arrived like plastic confetti, with an ingredient list longer than most novels. Another said when customers complained, the fix was more sauce. Sauce, by the way, reportedly came from packets, mixed with water, then held hot for long stretches. The real kicker: heat helps it flow, but long hot holding dulls acid, flattens flavor, and if mishandled creeps toward the danger zone. Industrial cheese often includes anti-caking agents to keep shreds loose and mold inhibitors to stretch shelf life. That is why it sprinkles easy and stores well. It is also why the melt can look perfect while the bite feels rubbery.
The inspector noted this due to a possible botulism present. Botulism is a rare form of food poisoning, but it can be deadly. Peppers, to be exact. That's not allowed, and so the peppers had to be re-washed. They also had a heavily dented can stored in with their other cans. We're going to begin with the Papa John's Pizza location. That's at 9335 North Tryon. They had an employee here barehanding food.
Papa John's fans love the cup of garlic sauce. A former manager called it basically butter-flavored oil with garlic powder. Their dough? A prep worker said preservatives kept it going when texture lagged. That trade-off, shelf life over taste, is how you get uniform pies at scale. Big brands standardize with powdered or bulk sauces because cost, stability, and speed run the show. That often means added sugars for body, starches for cling, and emulsifiers so oil does not break. You get a sauce that spreads fast and lasts long, but bends sweet and sticky, like ketchup dressed up for date night. So what is in that bubbling mozzarella? Shredded industrial blends with anti-caking agents and preservatives engineered for stretch and shine. The melt you see is performance, not dairy purity.
An employee here was washing hands, but then recontaminated by touching the faucets right after. That's not allowed. We're going to begin with the Papa John's Pizza location. That's at 9335 North Tryon. They had an employee here barehanding food. There was also no soap at one of the hand sinks, and they had an excessive number of dirty utensils that were all marked clean.
Now let's move on to how speed culture turns those ingredients into even bigger problems on the line. If the ingredients start industrial, the race to hot and ready does the rest. The clock rules the line. Orders stack. Timers beep. And the goal is speed, not taste. Let's start with the promise: prep to oven in minutes, a pie in your hand before your app closes. That is the model. The line is set to shave seconds, pre-portioned toppings, conveyor ovens, heat lamps waiting. When that rush hits, the steps that keep food clean and flavor sharp are the first to slip. Staff talk about skipped handwashing, gloves not changed after raw chicken, and toppings that hit the floor, then somehow find their way back into the bin. Shared ovens run sweet and savory at once, and flavors bleed. Your pepperoni slice can carry notes of dessert. At high-paced stores, Targets push shortcuts. Pepperoni sits in warming trays for hours. Cheese turns rubbery and starts to taste like melted plastic under lamps that never turn off. Sauce sits hot so it pours fast, but hot holding too long dulls the bite and sets up a safety risk.
In 2012, 3 pages of violations and a visit from us. Now, more problems contain bacteria. Frozen food like chicken nuggets and unwrapped meat stored in cardboard boxes and not covered. It was more than just that. The inspector found cross-contamination problems like raw chicken sitting next to bread dough.
Here is the science in plain English. Food safety has a danger zone where bacteria multiply fast, roughly room temp into warm. Warm holding meats and sauce on the edge of that range is a double hit, limp texture and higher risk if time and temp drift. Without tight temperature logs, quality slides first, then safety. Little pizzas parked in hot boxes keep that ready promise while drying out from the crust in. Gas station kitchens add another issue, cross-contact. Dough work near mop sinks, sauce near coffee supplies, and the same surfaces used for raw and ready-to-eat. Shared ovens carry grease and sugar across pies, building off flavors and hygiene gaps. The real kicker? The most unsettling claim is reuse. Slices that come back to the counter get pulled apart to rebuild a pie. High turnover means thin training, so bad habits stick. So why the rubbery cheese and slick garlic sauce? Under lamps and rush, engineered cheese seizes and goes plastic. The garlic dip is flavored oil, not fresh garlic, and it tastes like it. So what is the move for you? Let's close with simple checks that protect your wallet and your stomach. The truth is, when marketing says fresh but the line runs on powders, preservatives, and speed, you are buying a staged performance. It looks right. It travels well. It is built to last, not to taste. You can push back. Read ingredient lists. Ask how long pies sit in warmers and how often gloves change. Pick spots where you can see the make line and the temperature logs aren't a secret. If this gave you something to chew on, like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. Next, we'll test scratch sauce claims and see which fresh promise actually holds up.